Hi, my name is Eleanor Dallaway, editor of Infosecurity Magazine, and I'm joined today by Wolfgang Kandek, CTO of Qualys. So thank you for joining me today, Wolfgang.
Oh, Eleanor, pleasure to be here.
So last week, Microsoft released its 14th edition of the Security Intelligence Report. Can you talk me through some of the key outcomes of the report?
Yeah, so the 14th edition, 6-month report. Microsoft has excellent data points because they get data from about 600 million PCs from the update process and data from Hotmail and also from the Bing search engine. So it's a treasure trove of interesting data. I think the most interesting thing for me was the threats. So they've shown clearly that the majority of infections happen through web browsers. So you go to a malicious website, you download maybe some code or some exploit that uses a vulnerability in either your browser or one of the plugins, and then takes control of your machine. So that has outstripped, in terms of quantity, other attacks that go directly against the operating system, for example. So I think that was the most interesting finding.
So is this the first time we've seen this evolution in attack vector through the web browser as opposed to other means?
Well, I think over the last few years it has already been apparent that that is on an upward trend, and now there's another half year that has confirmed that other attacks on a downward trend, and this one grew a lot together with the document-based attacks against PDF documents and the attacks against Java, the programming language.
So outside of the Microsoft report, what are you seeing as the current important threats on the infosecurity landscape?
Well, I think we have a number of issues in security. It's a young industry. It's not mature yet. Some people do pretty well. It's mostly bigger companies. So we have a huge challenge actually to bringing security to smaller and medium-sized companies. Specifically in smaller companies that don't have an IT staff, maybe outsource it, for sure does not have a security staff. And many of these smaller companies have huge problems on the security side and are impacted, honestly, by the security problems. The data is being stolen, maybe even the personal data of the people that are inside these companies is being put out there on the web for people to abuse.
So you were at the show like I was last year. What are you seeing this year that we're talking about that perhaps wasn't on the industry's radar last year? What's new?
Well, so we at Qualys are bringing some new data on compliance processing. So that would be system configuration checks. We've taken the data that we have right now, it's a couple million data points, and we've analyzed it to see what people actually look for. We have many thousands of controls in that product, and it turns out people focus on maybe a set of 30 controls that most of the people are interested in. It tends to be around password security.
Right.
So for us, that's a big thing. I think we'll be presenting later on it at our booth. Other than that, data breaches are big. I think the Verizon. Yeah, we are discovering every day new things. That goes back to the maturity level that we are. We are far from mature. PCs are constantly under attack. We're just not there yet in terms of equipment configuration and things that are just stable enough to be out on the internet by themselves without supervision.
And lastly, Wolfgang, last time we spoke, you told me about Cybersecurity, a challenge pilot program. I was just wondering whether you could share with the viewers today a little bit more about that, because I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, so we have a big challenge, which is there's not enough security professionals out there. Actually, anybody who's watching this, you should become a security professional. It's well paid, it's pretty exciting, you meet interesting people, and there's definitely job security for the next 15 years. So go into computer security. The problem is the schools are not educating. So we've started in the US a program that looks at using vocational schools. So in the US, that's 2-year schools to give a very practically oriented education in computer security. Because the reality is you don't really need the computer science degree to go into computer security. It's something that can be learned just by taking the right classes and by giving the people enough exposure to that. So I'm pretty excited about that effort. I hope, I'm not exactly sure what the equivalent structure would be in the UK, but it's definitely something that can be replicated.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Wolfgang. It was lovely to talk to you today. Thank
Eleanor,
you.
pleasure to be here.